Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we are graced with the presence of a legendary recruiter, and I've worked with him in the past, and I can guarantee you that he's an awesome guy, and you'll just try by all means to make sure that you get what you want in terms of the monetary value. So Mr. Mojo, welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Now, just to kickstart or kick off things, can you please tell us about your background, how long you've been recruiting for software developers, and maybe other things that you do outside of the work?
Okay. So, how I started my career is that I'm actually from a sales background.
Mm,
And for me to get where I am, it's through people, particularly directors of the company, you know, uh, headhunting me,
mm,
or it would be a case where I sort of like service them, like help them with whatever their need is, and
mm.
then in the end they feel like, okay, you are actually a good guy. Are you
Right.
not looking for a job? And then I'd be like, okay, what sort of opportunity do you have? And then they'll
Mm,
say, okay, cool. And the reason why I'm saying this, I actually started with Vodacom, and at the time when I was at Vodacom, there was this other director from the business center. The business
right,
center was an office-based office rental type of business. So they were renting offices to a different business.
right.
And this guy came to me when I was at Vodacom and he said to me, "Look, I actually like how you work with people. You
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have that thing of, assisting people. You
Mm.
come and your service is consistent." And
Right.
he said to me, "How would you feel if I offer you a job where you're not gonna work on the weekends?" So I
Mm.
said, "I've been looking for such opportunity, so we can do it." And then he said to me, he gave me a business card of his HR and say, look, call this lady and tell her that you got her number from me. I'm gonna speak to her. When she speaks to you, she will tell you that you need to come through for an interview. And it happened exactly that way.
Mm.
And I called the lady, I went for an interview, and then I was successful. Then they hired me as a receptionist and slash IT technician.
Awesome.
Because when the guy took me from Vodacom, Vodacom was actually paying my studies. I was
Mm.
also pursuing being one of the IT guys. And then this
Awesome.
guy said to me, "Look, we'll give you a training, we'll give you everything you need because I can see that you're studying to become an IT guy." And then I got there, and while I was there, I actually worked for him for like 3 years, and I met Benjamin Goodwin. Benjamin Goodwin, he's originally from the UK,
Right,
and Benjamin did the same thing. He said to me, "Look, I like how you speak to people. You've
right,
got that thing. You have respect. Your manners are on point. I have an opportunity for you. I'm going back home in the UK for like 6 months. When I come back, I'll have something for you." And then he went. He went to UK for even more than 6 months. Then I was like, "No, this guy is not gonna come."
right.
But he called me while he's in the UK and say, "Look, I'm coming back in a month or so." And he did came back. So I didn't know anything about recruitment, to be honest.
Mm.
I
Mm.
didn't know anything. So Benjamin Goodwin trained me from the scratch to where I am right now. Even when I worked with him for 3 years, he took me from the business center, and then we started a company called Belema Solution,
Awesome, awesome.
and I was his right hand man. He trained me. At the time, I remember we were working on roles of SAP platforms,
Mm.
and he trained me as how recruitment process work for 3 years. Then he left. He started his own company again, and
Right.
then things worked out the way you could not believe it,
Mm.
because Ben said to me, in South Africa, there's two companies that I want you to work for.
Mm.
And if you can work for this company, I'm telling you, you're gonna be a good recruiter. And I said to him, why you think those company they're going to, sort of like mold me to be the type of recruiter you want me to be? And he said, with
Right.
Manpower, I worked for Manpower. I've been with Manpower for a year and couple of months.
Mm.
He said, for Manpower, I believe they are training their interns and you'll understand what the recruitment is about.
Right.
Well, I went there. I worked for them for a year and couple of months. And then he also mentioned Image. He said, with
Right.
if you want to be a specialized IT recruiter, then you have to go and work for Image. And I worked for Image for 3 years.
Mm.
And when I left Image, and throughout this time, working for Manpower, working for Image,
Right.
I was in contact with Ben because I regarded him as my mentor. If
Mm.
anything has to do with recruitment, particularly IT, I was calling Ben to, ask for information.
Awesome.
And then when I decided to leave Image, I remember at Image they didn't want me to leave as well.
Mm.
And
Mm.
Ben was sort of disappointed because of the aim was to go back and join him.
Right.
And well, then it happened that I left and well, joined Ben again. And when I joined Ben, I said to Ben, look, I think this time I'm ready to start something for myself.
Mm.
I have a brand that we can actually call Mobile Mojo, which can specializes in software development and mobile development. And then Ben said to me, "Yeah, that's a great idea, man. Let's implement it."
Right.
And I've been with Mobile Mojo for a year and Outsource
Right.
SA for a year and months. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
where I started, you know?
Awesome. No, thank you. Thank you very much for that awesome, awesome background. And then now, yeah, I see you have very, very good interpersonal skills. So, I mean, I've worked with you personally. You were just
Yeah,
awesome in terms of dealing with different types of people, different types of temperaments.
yeah.
I think, yeah, you
Thank
were
you.
just outstanding with regards to that. So, now, what types of companies do you recruit for, or were you recruiting for? Were they startups, corporates, fintechs? Just tell us, just shortly, about the type of companies you were recruiting for.
Yeah. So I recruit for a wide range of companies, from innovative startup years to
Mm.
established corporates.
Right.
And my expertise was general IT development for
Mm.
enterprises. So potentially fintech sectors, which I could say, as well as there is companies that are software development company purely doing software for other businesses. So we work with
Right.
companies like that as well. And we work with I'd say banks, insurances,
Right.
anything that has got to do with software development. Yeah.
Awesome. 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 No, thank you. Thank you very much for that background. And then now, in terms of the general tech, hiring skills, because a lot of the viewers here are people who are some are looking to transition from their current roles into tech, some are, finishing up school, some people who are already in the field, and then some are self-taught. Most of the people, in fact, are self-taught, and then they just wanted to transition into this field. So now, in terms of the skills and technologies that are currently in demand? What are those technologies that are currently in demand right now? Currently,
Okay. So I'd say there is AI now has been introduced as well,
right?
which is something good to learn, but it has not matured to a point where most
Mm.
of businesses are using it to its potential. But
Right,
I'd say mobile development, iOS, Android, Flutter, Kotlin, Swift, Java.net, and JavaScript framework. React,
mm.
Angular, Vue.js, those new
Yes,
front-end technologies, yeah.
frameworks. Yes,
And with self-taught people, it
mm.
is always best that they showcase their skills.
Mm.
They need to have a strong practical skills throughout the project, and they also need to have an active GitHub and focus on in-demand technology such as, I'd say AI, software development, or mobile development frameworks. And
Right.
clearly they need to also need to have that, how can I put it, that ability to explain themselves and
Mm.
be
Mm.
open to
Mm.
learn more, you know?
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So now, in terms of I think you've already answered the question. So in terms of what you've noticed, the shift in the hiring patterns since the rise of AI and also some remote
Yes.
work, has there been a shift though, or are we still using the old way or stuck in the old way of doing things?
Yes, definitely. I'd say this has actually been being caused by when the COVID hit the whole world.
Right.
So definitely hybrid and remote work are now common.
Hmm.
And since increased talent reached, the
Right.
rise in the AI has directly impacted the hiring pattern. You know,
Mm, 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 mm.
the AI-powered tools and concept has actively we are actively using it as recruiters for certain roles. You
Okay.
know.
All right. All right. And then, I mean, in terms of companies, are they still valuing degrees as such, or is practical experience maybe like you already mentioned the GitHub profile or portfolio becoming more important? The reason I'm asking is I get a lot of emails, I get a lot of comments, people asking me, is there a need for me to study computer science? Is there a need for me to go to TT or UNISA, etc.? So when you are recruiting, because you are dealing with these things, you are very close to these things. So I'm saying that are they still valuing degrees as much?
In honesty, yes, degrees are still beneficial, and if anyone who wants to engage or study software development, I would say to
Right.
them, look, it's actually better to always have what they call it, BSc in computer
Computer
science,
science. Yeah.
you know,
Right. Right.
because I'm not gonna mention any client
Right.
or any business, but I have
Mm.
noticed that most of clients they
Mm.
prefer people who are from universities with degrees
Right.
and particularly BSc in computer science.
Mm.
And because we believe that those people have practical experience and
Right.
demonstratable skills. So
Yeah. Right. Right.
I think it's always better to have BSc degree in computer science.
In computer
And
science.
when
Mm.
you look at someone with diploma and someone with a BSc degree, obviously
Mm.
we feel the BSc guy has more weight than the diploma, but
Right.
it's not like we're not gonna consider the guy with national diploma or anything. You
Okay, all
understand?
right. I understand. I understand. So,
Yeah.
and then for those who have, you know, practical experience, maybe they have projects that they've put on GitHub, so what are the chances of them being, chosen or their CVs being looked into and sent to clients? Yeah, I know we need to
Yeah,
be
you
very
know,
strict. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
You could find someone with BSc degree has
right,
has got a lesser exposure than someone who has a national diploma.
right.
And then what we do is we put the both on the test and say, okay, cool, we have an assessment that we need you both to take.
Mm,
And you find that a national diploma guy excel more than a BSc degree guy, you know?
mm, mm,
So
mm,
what's gonna happen is we take both and we say, okay, cool, which one we're gonna go with? The best
mm,
way is we take them through the process.
right.
And then you can do well on paper, but when you have to express yourself, answering questions of the interview,
Mm, mm,
being
mm,
express yourself freely and showcase your,
right.
showcasing your talent does not only mean that you have to create something, but speaking about what you do is important
Right.
as well.
So
Speaking
communication
about what you
skills.
can do is important as well. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
So now the self-taught developers, there are those who are self-taught, they never went to any form of school. And some have degrees that are very far, maybe in sociology or psychology, some
Yes.
degree that is very far from the technical
Like you find someone was a teacher or
yeah,
educator and they decided to be a Java developer. Yeah.
right, right, right.
Yes.
So how can they compete though with somebody who has a computer science degree? Do they have a chance as well?
Yeah. I'll tell you something. There was a guy I used to, whenever my client was looking for someone with a Java developer, I used to
Right,
present that guy because of his exposure to different businesses and
right,
what he has worked on in terms of project.
right.
So with people who have self-taught developers, I believe they need to have strong practical skills and they
Mm,
need to show the project that they have actually engaged into.
right.
And they also need to focus a lot on in-demand technologies.
Mm,
If you
mm,
place yourself better in the market, if you understand any technologies that it's every business wants to use that technology or they're using that technology. So you stand a good chance to be placed and you stand a good chance to be,
right.
we say your CV, it's one CV that clients likes. If we send your
Right.
CV, every client wants to speak to you, you
Mm,
know.
right.
So
Right.
it's because of you position yourself very well in the market. You know what's in demand in terms of technology. The
Mm,
project that you have exposed yourself to, they
right.
speak for you. Your GitHub as well. Also, it's important that you tailor it in the way that it can also speak for you.
Right.
And self-taught people, they also need to be those people who have the ability to solve
Right.
problems, you know? Yeah.
Right. Right. Awesome. So
Because
now,
because because I
mm,
can tell you with self-taught people,
mm,
we tend to, overlook them and say, no, these guys, they don't have a
mm,
fundamental skills or education of what they're
right.
doing. But when you look at their CV, you find that, oh, this guy is actually awesome. And you
Mm,
engage
mm,
in a conversation with them and you find out this person actually knows a lot.
right.
Then you change that changes your mind as a recruiter and say, okay, cool. I am actually going to present. And it's actually good when you engage with a candidate in a
Right.
conversation and they give you a scope of what they do and what they're capable of. That also help us to go to a client and say, look, I spoke to this guy. This is what
Mm,
he can do. This is what he has done.
right.
Okay, what are the qualifications? We say, no, he doesn't have a qualification that are relevant to the position, but try the
Right.
guy.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, when looking at a CV, be it me, junior dev, or somebody who wants to tap into the industry, or even on LinkedIn, their LinkedIn profile, what do we look for? What exactly are you looking for? What are those key things that you look for?
All right. So, well, I'm gonna answer this question, your question like this. Well, what
Right.
we do is we get a requirement, we get a job spec from a client,
Okay.
and then we go through the job spec.
Mm,
And once we understand what the requirement is about, then
mm,
it's when we'll say, okay, we're looking for skills like language, tools, and
right.
then strong project. Example, we look at your GitHub link,
Mm,
and also we look at the type of industry you have,
mm,
being exposed to.
right.
And I think, yeah, those are the main thing that you look for.
Awesome. Awesome. And then now, do bootcamp grads still stand a fair chance, in the job market today? So the people who just were, those who were fast tracked, maybe they spend 3 months,
Yes,
6 months into the field. So do
yes,
they stand,
yes.
that equal chance as well in the market right now?
Yes. Yes, bootcamp for grads they actually have a good chance
Right.
because they offer a practical project-based skills relevant to software development
Mm,
or mobile technology, and that can actually, show a strong dedication
right.
as we go through the process.
Awesome. Awesome. And then now there are guys who email me and they say, they managed to just set their foot on the door and have an interview. But they don't even get feedback afterwards. So, what are the most common mistakes that those junior guys, make in job interviews? When you get the feedback from the clients, what are the things that they highlight that somebody needs to work on?
Yeah, this is everyday problem,
Mm,
and I'll be honest with you, it's not only
right,
only client who would come back with such feedback.
right,
Look, I speak to people, I speak with people every day,
mm,
and I cannot say the most important thing. Let me put it this way: the most
right.
important thing is you need to express yourself better. English is not a language, but
Mm, mm, mm,
unfortunately, if you are applying for a job, you
mm,
have to you have to speak English. And not only English, you need to understand. Look, when you write a CV, that CV, you don't give it to someone else to write it for you. People don't speak about their CV. People don't speak about things they have done. People
Right.
speak about something different, which is what they make, which is what makes them fail the interview.
Mm.
And I'd say it's purely people who are failing to express themselves, people who cannot be relevant to what is on their CV,
Oh,
you know?
okay. All right. All right. So basically what they are
They are not
saying.
talking about what it's on their CV. They make their CV to find jobs or to
Mm.
send a CV to a client. If they get the interview, when they get there, they don't speak about their CV. Or it could be a
Okay.
case where they cannot express themselves in
Mm.
English. They struggle. Yeah.
Oh, so the language itself is sometimes a barrier. So meaning that as a software developer,
Yes.
you must also be able to communicate. You must also have
You
that
must also be able
soft
to
skill.
communicate.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, and then another thing is saying something else that is different from what is written on your CV
On the
is
CV. Yeah.
okay. Okay. So it's like this person doesn't match what is written on the CV.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, I used to interview,
You
so
know,
I see that as well. Yeah.
I'll tell you something. When there was one client, I'm not gonna mention name. I
Right.
know their interview process. I know if they call you for interview. When I
Mm.
prep you, I'll tell
Right.
you, look, here's the CV I sent to a client.
Mm.
You're going to speak about this CV. This is what you wrote. You know
Mm.
this.
Mm.
And what's gonna happen? And I'm telling you, the
Mm.
interview goes exactly how I'm saying it's gonna go. I'm telling
Right.
them, look. They're going to introduce themselves. It's four people in the panel. They're going to say,
Mm.
this is me, this is I do so and so and so, and this is who she or he does so and so and so. And
Mm.
afterwards, they're going to give you a platform to introduce yourself. When you introduce yourself,
Mm.
tell them your name, tell them where you went to school, and then
Right.
tell them where you started working until
Mm.
you get to where you are currently. And you're going to pass your interview. And when you
Okay.
mention any technology, and I say to them, look, they're going to when you tell them that you work for so and so company, they probably ask you, what sort of technology stack were you using in that company?
Mm.
Don't mention technologies that you don't have a strong explanation to give
Right.
when they ask you. Rather speak about technologies that you know they are easy to explain, and then you just impress them and move forward to the next question. So people
Mm.
don't do that. They
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I can relate to what you're saying. You find that
Yes.
yeah, they've seen something, but they're mentioning a technology, but when you ask them about the same technology that they are mentioning, they don't know anything about it.
It's difficult
So
to give explanation.
difficult to give an explanation. Okay. So now,
Yeah.
in terms of those who are career switchers, so they've done zoology, or I'm just giving a random example, and then they want to come to non-tech. Um, so how do we? Sorry, I think I got distracted here. But yeah, so then now, uh, should they hide their past experience if they were working before?
No, we shouldn't. Look, obviously, with recruitment process, there is a part where we need to know where you worked first,
Right,
or where are you? We need to know your credit score. We need to know your are you have any criminal record. So you need to be open
right.
about where you're coming from so that we can understand or the
Mm,
client can understand, okay, I am actually hiring somebody who has been from this industry transitioning to this particular one. And we also look at the soft skills of those people and industry knowledge
right,
and making and we also do like a well-rounded sort of assessment to understand if they are really strong, if they can really do their job,
right.
if they have sometimes it's attitude
Mm,
also
mm,
helps you
mm,
to get
mm,
into or open doors that you actually want to open.
mm,
So you don't have to hide it. You have to be open. You have to
mm,
be honest about everything,
right.
you know.
So
Like I
now,
was saying to you earlier,
right.
there was a guy that I know I was assisting.
Mm.
That guy, he was an educator, but now he's a good Java developer. And I've
Awesome.
placed him twice with different clients.
Awesome. 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 So now, I'm just gonna jump to the interview process because we are running out of time. So, what does a typical hiring process look like? So, I know some do give those coding tests, and then they take home
Yes.
assessments so in the hiring process of today, how does a typical start from the getting the CV to the client and also getting what is that process
Mm.
and also making sure that you're hired?
Okay, I'm gonna be fast to answer that.
Yeah,
So what we
sure.
do is we'll get a requirement from a client. They say they're looking for a tech lead
Mm,
developer. What we do is there's platform where we source CVs. We also have in-house database where we know we keep CVs of different language,
right,
people who are coding using different language. And what we do is we then call you. If you qualify, we do a thorough check of skills that you carry and exposure, which companies you work for, industry, and also considering the type of industry we're recruiting for at the time.
right,
If we're
right.
recruiting for a bank, then we'll be specific looking for someone who has banking exposure.
Mm,
And it's a call. After a call, we send the CV that we feel are relevant. We send them to a hiring manager. A hiring manager will come back with, interest to say, I would like to interview one or two of the guys you sent. We set
mm,
up the interview. When we do that, I,
mm.
as a recruiter, I will prep you and give you some information to say, look, these
Okay,
people, they will say this, or this is the type of industry, then you need to,
right,
put yourself to this so that you can be aligned with what they're going to ask you.
right.
And the next step, it will be that assessment test.
Mm,
If some clients they have their own, but some would say, have you got the IKM that you can give it to
right.
him to check if he's strong with C
Mm,
sharp or Java or whatever, whatever.
mm,
And we
right,
do that. And then after you pass the assessment test,
yeah,
we share it with the client. Client
right,
will then say, okay, the last step, which will be the second interview with, maybe could be with the team or maybe could be with uh, the CIO who's
right,
handling the whole team, and then offer. So once we get an offer, we sit with the hiring managers and then we then motivate as to what salary you want, and if they
right.
can offer you this much, then you will take the offer. I
Awesome,
think,
awesome,
yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Yes.
So now, before we get to your contact, so in terms of the advice for for the devs, because sometimes they speak about good culture fit. Is this person a team player? Can they communicate? So can they pick up all these things from an interview? Just sitting down with a guy or lady and just interviewing them. Can they pick up that this guy is not a good culture fit or is not a good team player?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I'll be
Mm,
honest with you, it has happened a couple of times to me thinking that yeah, this guy's gonna get an offer. I mean, it's just a culture
mm,
fit. You're just going to spend hour or 2 hours with him just to see what type of a person he is. And
mm,
then you find most companies they do it with the team that you're going to actually be working with.
right.
And then you find in the background they go back and say, okay, well, how do you feel about this guy?
Mm,
And then the team will say, no, I don't think he's good. Because remember, they give you five people to say, okay, you're gonna work with these people, and these people
right.
they need to go back with a report. And
Right.
then it's very rare where the report would be same. Some would say, okay, I notice he's strong at this and that, but he's weak at this and that. So with culture fit, it's something that
Right.
I don't know. You don't have to. There's no manual for it. There is no
Yeah.
course you can go and say, I want to be a culture fit for any company, you
Yeah,
know?
it's a
So you just
personality
have to,
attitude thing.
you,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
They always say, you need to be professional,
Right.
which I think that is how they pick culture fit. You need to be professional about everything. You need to be a team player. It does not mean when they say you need to be a team player, you do everything but you don't communicate with people. Do the 360 thing of being part of
Mm,
the team. Communicate, show
right.
people that you lack where, and then allow the team to assist you.
Right.
Blend within the team. Do
Mm.
whatever the activities they do at the time, and then don't wanna come out and shine. Just show them that you understand things, and then you are open to be helped as well.
All right. No, thank
Yeah,
you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Mojo. So I don't know if you are
my
open to,
pleasure.
in terms of contacting you, maybe if there's some guys who think that they are ready to enter into the market, and then some are out there and they want to change. I don't know if you're open, if they can,
Yes,
give your contacts to them
yes,
so that they can get a hold of you, so that Mobile Mojo can grow very,
yes,
very, very big. Yeah. So if you can kindly
yes.
share the details, please.
So, yes, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Right.
Search name is some people. Most of people know me as Mojo, but my full name is Mojalefa Kwekwe,
Okay. All right.
and I've got my own brand, which is Mobile Mojo,
Mm.
and I've partnered up with Benjamin Goodwin and Sean Smith.
Right.
Sean Smith, he's originally from South Africa, but he's currently based in the UK.
Right.
And I'm working for Outsource SA as a principal consultant.
Mm.
So
Awesome.
yes, you can also email me on mojo at mobile-mojo.com, which is my email
Right.
for mobile. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. 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 No, thank you. Thank you very, very, very much for your time. So do you recruit abroad as well? For those who want to
Well,
go abroad?
I actually don't, but
Mm.
my partner Benjamin Goodwin, he does,
It does.
particularly in the mobile development. Yes,
All
we've
right.
so
No.
far placed a couple of guys who
Mm.
are working remote for our UK clients.
Thank you very, very, very much for your
Thanks,
time,
sir.
Mr. Mojo. We
I appreciate.
appreciate
Thanks
you.
for
We
having
appreciate
me
everything.
here.
Awesome. Cheers. Cheers,
It's
man.
been great.
Until next time.
Thanks.
Bye.
Yes, definitely.